Today, we are talking to Aleksandar Miskovic, CEO of Terra Balcanica Resources, ticker TERA, which is exploring the, I hope I pronounce it correctly, Jahres project in Bosnia-Herzegowina. We want to hear more on this promising polymetallic property and the plans of the company. Great to catch up with you, Aleksandar.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to be talking to you and GOLDINVEST.de subscribers.
Great to have you. So, first of all, as this is our first discussion, our first talk, please give us a bit of background on yourself. What's your experience in the industry?
Right. So I'm a geologist. I'm a professional geoscientist. I've earned my doctoral degree in geochemistry from University of Geneva in Switzerland back in 2008. Subsequently, I worked as a postdoctoral fellow at MIT in Boston, Massachusetts, United States for about a year and a half. Following that, I've been engaged with the government of Canada, working as a diamond geologist for 2 years, working in Yellowknife, all the way up in the Canadian Arctic, and then returned back to my academic vocation as an associate professor at the University of British Columbia, where within the auspices of Mineral Deposit Research Unit, MDRU, I led, at that point, the largest corporate educational consortium entitled Western Tethyan Metallogenic Project, interestingly, because that's exactly where Terra Balcanica operates right now. And between 2012 and 2016, supported by 16 different companies, Canadian, global ones, we've explored potential for porphyry copper and epithermal gold silver deposits along the entire length of the Western Tethyan Metallogenic Belt. Following that, I worked for junior companies, Canadian ones like Med Gold Resources, but also big ones, Rio Tinto. I was at Rio Tinto for 2 years, working on their project in California, north of LA, Boron, California. As of 2020, I became a CEO and president and director of Terra Balcanica Resource Corp. An interesting time to start a company back in 2020 at the height of the global pandemic. But I think we've done a splendid job in the last 3 years of advancing the project and bringing value back to the shareholders.
Well, thank you very much for this overview. And this brings us right to the project or the property. Give us a bit of information on that. Where is it exactly? What have you done? What have you discovered there so far?
Yes. So Terra Balcanica Resource Corp is a junior Canadian explorer that operates in southeastern Europe. I think strategically positioned given the fact that Europe as a continent is badly starved for critical metals, be that nickel, lithium, copper, etc. And obviously relying so far on imports of these things. So I think projects such as ours, or the one very well known in Bosnia as well, Adriatic Resources, and similar to those, I think are truly important for the continent overall. We operate in 2 jurisdictions, neighboring jurisdictions, both very mining-friendly jurisdictions, Serbia and Bosnia. In Bosnia, we are truly early movers, apart from Adriatic Metals PLC and another Australian company, a junior exploration company. We are the only ones in Bosnia so far as the Western exposure is concerned. In Serbia, obviously, the scene is slightly more crowded, but over there we have, I think, very strategically positioned portfolio of properties as well. Overall, we hold about 350 square kilometers of land, 216 of which is in Bosnia and another 150 in Serbia. In Bosnia, they are clustered within a Viugor Zanic flagship project of ours that consists of 3 different licenses, where over the course of about a year and a half of detailed, meticulous exploration and prospecting, we have uncovered 3 different, very prospective targets. The one called Čumavići, that is a high-grade, shallow, silver-dominated epithermal vein-hosted corridor, is what I would like to describe in a post-discovery stage. In other words, we have already proven the concept. We know that mineralization is present. It's not anymore a model or a suspicion. It's truly there, and the company is right now in the process of basically confirming 3 things: the continuity along the strike and down dip of this mineralization, confirming the thickness of this mineralized body, and also ensuring that the grade holds. So far, the grade in Čumavići has been on average about 505 grams per ton silver equivalent. It is a polymetallic deposit, so it does contain lead and zinc and antimony and gold, but we like to express those things in terms of silver. A very interesting target about 10 kilometers to the southeast of Čumavići is something that we believe will probably be a truly game changer. In other words, we have discovered 1.2 kilometer wide magnetic and 600 meter wide conductive anomaly in the location called Brezhani. That came after we have already identified the zone as very interesting from a geochemical standpoint. In other words, the geochemistry done on soils and rock chips has already pointed out to this particular area as being very interesting. So now we have a correlation between geochemistry and geophysics, and all the other lines of evidence point to this area as being very interesting. It has been drilled last year to the depth of 260 meters, where we have, to our surprise, discovered that the initial 100 meters is actually mineralized by gold. So we have 0.61 gram per ton gold over initial 90 meters, which was really surprising because on our geophysical model, we did not expect the resistive part, which is actually the upper part, to contain anything. The true target sits at about 450 meters depth. It is that 650 meters wide conductive anomaly that sits at the center of the magnetic anomaly and therefore represents a truly tier one in both in terms of size and the intensity of that anomaly, 60 millisiemens per meter. For those ones who care to know, a porphyry target. So we are now in the process of attacking, for the lack of a better word, this target again. We are descended now to 212 meters of depth down the same hole like we did last year, and we are now going to slowly proceed down to the guts of the system at roughly between 450 and 500 meters. That's as far as Bosnia is concerned. In Serbia, obviously, two different properties. I'm just mentioning one that's kind of on top of the priority list, and that is the Ceovište target, high-grade gold on surface, 2.5 ounces of gold on surface in rock chip samples, which is truly magnificent. Historical records indicate that the mineralization is very shallow. And then lately, our team, after investigating further the gold on surface in Ceovište, has unearthed another 900-meter wide anomaly in soil, which we have interpreted as being a porphyry target. So now Ceovište is again turning to be not only high-grade gold, but also potential porphyry in its northwestern sector. So a very exciting time for the Serbian part of the portfolio as well.
Okay, well, that was a good overview and a lot of stuff for people to go through. But I'm sure there's some material on all that on your website also, and,
sure.
and a presentation for people to look at and peruse. So you've told us what you're doing right now, basically, just drilling down deeper into the system. Let's say all goes according to plan, the funds are there, the drilling proceeds as you hope. What are your goals for this year then in Bosnia? What do you aim to achieve?
So obviously, as you can tell, a lot of activity in Bosnia done so far. In the month of April, we've started our phase 2 drilling in Čumavići, the high-grade silver system, and we are about to start releasing those results. They're about to come back from the lab and then start releasing them as of August 1st onwards. So there's going to be a continuous, steady stream of press releases highlighting the intercepts in the high-grade Čumavići system. As we do that, we hope to actually reach the Brezhani porphyry target again in Viogorzanik and start releasing those assays as well. In the meantime, obviously, as I mentioned, the idea is to also, conduct a small little preliminary drill program in Ceovište as well, in the high-grade gold area in Serbia, and add to the stream of press releases. So the idea is to really create an environment over the course of next 4 to 5 months where Terra Balcanica is going to feature prominently in the spotlight when it comes to our technical releases. Having said that, obviously we are fully aware of the importance of a proper capital markets plan. And that's exactly what I think the difference is going to be between this year and last year. Last year, we've issued some, in my opinion, world-class intercepts, particularly in terms of the silver, and unfortunately haven't really gained much traction. This year around, our investor relations group and the board and the directors are working hard to put in place a program, a plan, a capital markets program that will robustly support our press releases, which I think technically will be outstanding yet again. In doing so, we hope to bring the share price to where we believe it belongs subsequent to the closing of the current tranche of financing. So we hope to complete the current tranche of financing within the next 2 weeks, reach the target of $1 million, probably get oversubscribed in that sense. So again, for those who are unaware, we are raising money at 8.5 cents Canadian per share, and also giving on top of that a full 3-year long warrant at the price exercisable at the price of 13 cents. So a nice little package together. So far, we've closed first and second tranche, raised about $700,000, which was really successful given the capital, the overall macroeconomic trends. And the timing is going to work perfectly. By the time we close the third tranche, the press releases will start coming out, and then also the capital markets plan will be in place. So that's roughly a plan for the remainder of this year. And then, obviously we have a couple of possible strategic partnerships lined up as well. Obviously, I can't say more about it, but right now, the high-grade gold and porphyry target in Serbia, as well as the portfolio overall in Bosnia, has gained some traction and some attention from some of the mid and global and tier one Canadian companies as well. So we look forward to seeing how that unfolds and possibly have some of the big names signed up as our strategic partners in the near future.
That sounds like a good plan to me, depending, of course, on if the drill results hold up, if the markets hold up too. And so, but it sounds like a good plan. And as and I have to say that here too, we are shareholders already of the company. So we are vested in your success and wish you, of course, all the best of luck. And let me just say it, now should be the time for people to look at the company right before all this happens.
I believe so. I mean, obviously, I think 2023, I mentioned a few times in previous interviews, is the pivotal year. It's the inflection point for the company. The time to, play in what seems to be truly a list of good targets both in Serbia and Bosnia, given strategic position of the company in Europe and what we have on our plate. I think we are truly top 2 or 3 choices when it comes to junior explorers in Europe when it concerns the strategic metals. And lately, obviously, we had good contribution from our European investor base. We hope to work on that again, organize road shows in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and elsewhere in Europe, and really spread the story. I think also the problem last year with us was we were unknown as an entity, and this year, obviously, that is changing as well. So with spreading of the awareness, good technical reports coming out and press releases and good capital markets in plan, I think we're going to turn the corner and despite challenging macroeconomic situation, make 2023 a success for Terra Balcanica Research Corp.
That's a great closing remark. Thank you for taking the time.